Imagine for a moment that you've decided to launch a small business from your home. You're looking for a way to make it personal, something that carries the essence of your family. Perhaps you use a family recipe or a name that's been passed down through generations. It's a common way to build a brand, isn't it? We see it in local bakeries and high-end boutiques alike. But what happens when that personal touch involves a title that carries the weight of centuries of history? And what happens when that product, a simple household item, is priced in a way that makes people stop and look twice? Lately, a story has been circulating that has many people asking these exact questions. It involves a new luxury product, a $64 price tag, and the names of two very famous children. But as we've learned with this particular public figure, the story on the surface is often just the beginning. Today, we're looking into the latest developments surrounding Meghan Markle's lifestyle brand, which has recently undergone a bit of a transformation. Formerly known as American Riviera Orchard, the brand has been reintroduced as Ever. Now, why is this making headlines today? Well, it's all about the latest addition to her collection, timed, according to reports, for Mother's Day. It's a pair of scented candles. On the surface, a luxury candle isn't unusual for a lifestyle brand. We see them from many public figures. However, it's the specific details of these candles that have sparked a very lively discussion online. The candles are reportedly priced at $64 each. For many, that's a significant investment for a home fragrance. But the intrigue deepens when you look at the names. They aren't named Lavender or Spring Meadow. Instead, they are designated by numbers, 506 and 604. At first glance, those might just look like random digits. But observers were quick to point out a connection. May 6th, or 506, is the birthday of Prince Archie, and June 4th, 604, is the birthday of Princess Lilibet. The product descriptions reportedly lean into this, using the children's full royal titles to describe the scents. One is described as warm and comforting, inspired by Prince Archie, while the other is light and floral, inspired by Princess Lilibet. It's a delicate choice, isn't it? But that's only part of the story. As these details began to emerge, the digital world did what it does best. It began to dissect every word. This wasn't just a product launch. For many, it became a conversation about the intersection of family, branding, and those controversial royal titles. Some have pointed out that using the children's birthdays and titles is a way for Meghan to share her life as a mother with her audience. They see it as a sentimental tribute, a way to anchor her business in what she has often called her most important role. Others, however, believe the timing and the branding tell a different story. This has led to questions about the continued use of royal titles in a commercial venture, especially since the couple stepped back from official duties years ago. You see, the conversation isn't just about a candle, it's about the how and the why. Why now? And why use the titles so prominently in the marketing materials? We've seen reports that this Mother's Day collection is part of a broader push to establish Ever as a major player in the luxury market. But as the discussion grew, people began noticing something else, a pattern that some find fascinating, and others find, well, a bit puzzling. What happened next is where things get truly interesting.
To understand why a $64 candle is causing such a stir, we have to look at the context of the last few years. This isn't the first time products have been teased and then met with a mix of curiosity and criticism. Remember the limited edition jars of jam or the flour sprinkles? Observers are starting to connect this moment to a broader discussion about public image. There is a sense that we are watching a public figure navigate a very complicated transition. On one hand, there is the desire to be a lifestyle guru, in the vein of a Martha Stewart or a Gwyneth Paltrow. On the other, there is the undeniable reality that much of the public interest still stems from that connection to the British royal family. This is the layered part of the discussion. Some analysts suggest that by naming products after the children's birthdays and using their titles, The brand is essentially monetizing the very institution they chose to leave. It's an analytical perspective, looking at the brand strategy rather than the person. Is it a smart business move to lean into the one thing that makes the brand unique, or does it create a conflict with the narrative of seeking a private life in California? It's a tension that seems to follow every new launch. Let's pause and think about that for a second. If you were in that position, how would you balance those two worlds? There's a subtle tension here. On one side, you have a mother who clearly loves her children and wants to celebrate them. On the other, you have a business entity that needs to stand on its own. Critics have asked, if the brand is meant to be authentic and personal, why is the price point so high? Is a $64 candle truly from my home to yours, as the website suggests, or is it aimed at a very specific elite demographic? And then there's the question of the titles. King Charles granted those titles in 2022. They are official, but in the world of branding, every word is a choice. Using Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet on a product label is a choice that carries a specific message. It's not just a name, it's a brand identifier. This has led some to wonder if the brand can ever truly be independent of the royal family, or if the royal connection is in fact the brand's primary engine. As we zoom out, this story becomes less about candles and more about the nature of modern celebrity. How do public figures manage their perception in an age where every move is scrutinized in real time? For an audience that has followed the royal family for decades, this transition feels different. We're used to seeing royal names on charities, on hospitals, or on official documents. Seeing them on luxury home goods is a shift that requires a bit of adjustment. It speaks to the way branding has changed. Today, personal life is the product. Every photo, every mentioned hobby, and yes, even the scent of a candle is curated to tell a story. But when that story involves an institution as old and tradition-bound as the monarchy, the rules of engagement are different. The challenge for Meghan and the As Ever brand is whether they can create a brand that people buy into because of the quality of the products, or if the interest will always be tied to the latest royal headline. It's a high-stakes game of perception, and the results are still coming in. So where does that leave us? We have a pair of candles, some birthday numbers, and a pair of titles that continue to spark debate across the globe. Some will see this as a lovely, maternal gesture in a new business venture. Others will see it as a calculated move to maintain a royal connection for commercial gain. As with most things in life, the truth may lie somewhere in the middle. But it does make one wonder, in the world of luxury branding, where does the personal end and the professional begin? And is it possible to have one without the other when your life has been lived on such a grand stage? It's an interesting question to ponder. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Does a personal connection like this make you more interested in a product, or does the use of titles in this way change how you view the brand?